Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome once again to Sober Talk. Um, the title is No Lie. As of this live stream, we are 1 month to the day before I have a grand total of 15 years without a drink or a drug. Okay, so that's a long time, but don't applaud yet. We're not there. Okay, we got a lot of ground to cover, and 1 month, that's a lot of 24 hours between now and then. Tonight we're probably going to tell some stories that I got asked to talk about tonight, especially if one of them shows up, which he might be doing the stream ninja. Regardless, that is kind of the plan right now. I'm going to tell some amazing stories as usual tonight. And I'll probably, if anybody has any questions on sobriety, I will do my best to answer those questions. Because every once in a while I get some doozies. I know when Ian is in here, he'll there for a little while. He was asking some real doozies, and it was really good ones, and it really put me on the spot. And I was like, man, thank you for that. Wow, appreciate that, man. But Sober Talk is the ones. It's one of those streams that I look forward to be able to sit down and tell you guys that I'm still sober. I'm still doing doing the drill to the best of my ability. It's one of those streams that I don't ever foresee me not doing it. If I can, as long as I can keep doing it, I'm going to do it, sort of thing. So that's kind of where that stands. So currently right now it is kind of a slow stream to start with, but usually it takes a few minutes for everyone to kind of make their way in. I've got my big book candy, in case anybody wants me to read anything of interest. Sometimes you got to refer to the book too every now and again. I know there's been a few people that poked in and have caught me, reading the book in stream, and a lot of people are like, "Man, that's some deep stuff." What book is that again? The Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Man, that's some deep stuff, man. I honestly didn't know what book that was. Yeah, yeah. Written in 1940. You know, um, well, written in 1939, and if I remember correctly, it was published in 1940. If I remember my history correctly. Um, Actually, I can probably look it up. Look it up, Prince Magnum. Look it up. But right now, usually, like I said, the first part of a stream usually kind of goes slow for me, and then it kind of picks up, and you start seeing more and more people come in and that sort of thing. Hey, what's going on, Ian? I was wondering if you'd be by tonight, because tonight is the night that I gotta tell that story that I was talking about, where the line where I got that one line, and it has a great story behind it. Kind of a little bit of a sad ending, but it is a good story, nonetheless. Um, it's one of those ones that I it, you know Hey, what's going on, Rainbow Suki? Welcome to the live stream. Um, Welcome to Sober Talk. Here on Sober Talk, I'll be talking about my sobriety and Alcoholics Anonymous, and the title is No Lie. I kind of kept it quiet. How am I doing? I'm doing fantastic. I woke up today, and I had a miracle happen to me today. I found it not necessary to take a drink, and any day that still happens, that's still the real deal, man. That's still a miracle to me. Um, which that line actually has a story behind it as well. Uh, an interesting story nonetheless as well. Um, Let me take y'all, well, actually, let me wait a few minutes, and we'll see who else kind of pokes in, because I'd hate to tell the same story twice in the same stream. You know, it's one of those things. Watch the playback now. Watch the playback. You know, and for most of my streams, usually the first 5 to 10 minutes it takes everyone to kind of, who's going to be there is pretty well going to be there. Hey, what's going on, Miss Kelly? Yes, happy Thursday. But today's my 2 day weekend uh, right now because Thursday, Friday I'm off this week. They're still adjusting things since I've transferred out to the new store. Thanks, Miss Kelly. And I'm going to say it again. The title of this stream is no joke. I kind of kept it quiet today, and as of today, we are 1 month away from me making another year of continuous sobriety. 1 month to the day, you know. So we are literally 1 month, and I will have a grand total of 15 years without a drink or a drug. I'm excited about that. You know, don't applaud for me yet, though, for that 15 years. Don't applaud for me yet because we're not there. We are not there. So I'm excited about this, uh, you know, and that's the thing, um, if you'd have told me I'd have been making 15 years sober when I first got into sobriety, I'd told you you're full of shit. I didn't think I'd make it a week. That's the honest to goodness truth. I honestly did not think I was even going to make a week sober. Yes, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I was sick for a couple of days, and I was feeling pretty rough. And evidently, it's something that was going around work, like some sort of head cold that was going around. One of my assistant managers, she got it first, and then she just kind of. I told her, I said, not all the time is sharing care. Sharing, is a caring thing. I'm telling you, no, you didn't have to share that with all of us. So that whatever it is, some sort of weird head cold thing that was basically kind of kicking our butts throughout the store, and it got my store manager, and it got me, and then it got a couple other people at the same time. So we're just one of them things. Princess Faye just made French toast. She kind of kicked me out of the kitchen for a bit and made French toast, which Pam Purdue, which it was good. It was really good. I had a lot of it. I like to eat. So that was some good stuff. Um, and I was sitting down in front of the editor, uh, you know, kind of playing with the editor before the live stream. I've got a couple of videos I got to begin work on. Um, and you're kind of getting some of what you wanted, and where I'll be on camera talking a little bit, and then there will be a little bit of a Project Spirit doing what she does and that sort of thing. And it's going to be one that kind of slaps some people in the face that have said some pretty stupid stuff about that old six cylinder that's in Spirit. And basically, it's like I went out and got the footage that says it's not a bad engine, so I went and did that little stunt. You know how that is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not the Ronies. Um, you know, and I was pretty grateful for that because I started getting a little nervous there for a minute because it started messing with my sinuses and I couldn't taste it. Things were kind of tasting a little funny. I was like, no, 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 no. I've seen this before. I know what this is. And normally I will lose my voice during that time frame, but I didn't this time. Thank goodness. I did not lose my voice, which would have sucked at, trying to do a stream like that, because I wouldn't have been able to do a voice at all. But I pulled through it. That'd have made it interesting. No, I wouldn't have been able to stream. I'd have had to cancel everything until I got my voice back. Usually it takes a couple of days. Um, all right. Well, we're at that 10-minute marker. It's as good as time as any. Ian, I know you're here, so let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and tell this story. Now, you're all familiar with that line that I say at the end of pretty much all of my videos, and I started using this way back when, uh, here on the channel, but I've been saying it for years in AA meetings. Um, and there's a story behind that line, where, if nobody's told you that they love you today, that whole bit. That whole bit goes all the way back to when I was 7 months sober. And sober man sat me down. He sat me down and we were doing the usual work out of the books and everything back then. I was always learning something back then. And yeah, I had already been through the steps and everything, but um, even right now, if there was no pandemic going on, if I wasn't self-quarantined or anything like that, I would have already went over to um, I'd already been over to Sober Man's house and we would have grabbed the book and got it out and worked out of it a little bit. We still do that, even now, which we would do it over the phone if possible. And I got to call them and you know, hey, if you got the book handy, I want to go over some. Hey, Ian. Uh, uh, you give me so much hell. I wouldn't have it any other way. But this one particular day, he said, I was thinking, something sparked his memory, and he said, I was thinking back to this guy who always used to come to meetings. He was losing his eyesight, but he always came to meetings. A guy named Old Floyd. I said, Old Floyd, huh? He said, yeah, Old Floyd. He'd come to meetings, and he always had this. He had this New England. For those that don't know, New England is like the upper eastern states of the United States. It's kind of, over in that ballpark area, like around like New York. New York is considered a New England state. That's what we call them here in the U.S. But basically, he has an accent from those particular areas, and he somehow he ended up way out here in BFE, more or less, and he brought this line with him that started in his early days of sobriety, and he just kind of kept using it. And name was Floyd. And the line, and he would say it every meeting, every meeting. And he would always say, even if this was the only thing he said, he'd say, if nobody's told you that they love you today, old Floyd does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Now, 7 months sober, hearing sober man tell me this story. And and I was like, gosh, I really like that. And that really kind of sums up, my sobriety. I mean, I love the people who've helped me get sober. I love the members of alcohol. You know, I said, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be sober. I said, do you think old Floyd would mind if I use that? And he said, no, I think he'd actually be tickled to death if you did. He said, we're going to have to go meet old Floyd sometime. I said, well, all right. So my first, the first time I was about 7 months sober, like I said, and I was sitting in an AA meeting. I thought, well, today's as good as day as any. And I started using it. And I said it, and, it took a couple of meetings to kind of get the feel of it, of getting used to saying it regularly, because I wanted people to hear it. I wanted to know that, it was real, um, that my sobriety, that them being a part of my sobriety meant something. So 7 months sober, I started saying it. And after a couple of meetings, it just kind of became second nature. The next thing you know, you know, here we are years later. I start the YouTube channel, and I'm like, I've been saying this line for years in Alcoholics Anonymous, and why don't I just go ahead and say it on the YouTube channel. I mean, I'm supposed to be sharing who I am and what I'm all about, and I'm talking about sobriety, so it makes sense. Let's present, my sobriety to the world, whoever watches. So I started saying, I just kind of brought it with me. Well, here the irony of this story is that sober man kept saying, for a good long while, he said, we need to go see old Floyd. And, I think he would really be tickled to know that you're using his old line that he used in every meeting. And evidently, I mean, I never got a chance to meet the man. And when we were supposed to go meet him, he'd passed away. As a matter of fact, his son came into a meeting and he said, I'm old Floyd's oldest son, and I came by because, Dad just passed away. Old Floyd is gone, and he passed. Um, and I just wanted to let you guys know that you all meant a great deal to him. When it came time for me to speak up, I I said, I told the story where I heard it, and I had said that sober man and I had were supposed to go see him, but it never came to be. And I said, that shoulda, woulda, coulda thing. I said, now I get to kick myself because I never got to meet such a great man. So I've been using that line, never got a chance to actually meet the man in person, but I honestly felt like I knew him long, even though I never actually met him in person. Um, so that's kind of how that came to be. Is sober man telling me about this one great member of the program, and I started, I really liked that line. It really fit, and it still does to this day. It really does. So I started using it to kind of say what needed to be said, and it just stuck after all these years. I think there's only been twice in an AA meeting that I never actually said the line. Um, yeah, twice in the 15 years near 15 years I've been sober. So, um, yeah, only twice. And one of the times, was actually this one gal. She was a hateful woman, anyways. I mean, I don't know who pissed in her Cheerios, but she was a hateful son of a. Anyhow, I mean, she's one of those ones that mourned her sobriety, and she basically, said you really shouldn't be saying that, and I mean, just was really hateful. So the next meeting, I didn't say it because I was kind of, but then I realized, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right not saying it. Uh, because I've said it for so long. So what did I do? I turned around, and it came time for a traditions meeting. I talk about the traditions. I said, I don't know diddly squat really about the traditions. I said, I know a little bit. And I said, but one in particular always stands out to me, and that's our third tradition. That basically in the third tradition, I said, hey, what's going on, Jacob? Glad to see you today. But I said one of the things I love about our third tradition is it says that basically that if you declare yourself a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, getting a coffee. If you declare yourself a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, you're in. Okay. And I said, so what does that mean? I mean, because this gal was always hateful to me. And I said, what does that mean for everybody else? As I said, you can't keep me out. I said, I'm not here because of you. I'm here because of me. And you can't keep me out. I said, as long as I've declared myself a member of Alcoholics Anonymous and I drank myself here, you can't keep me out. And right, coffee for the win. I got mine already. And I said, I know there's some of you in here that don't like me. I said, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I said, I'm not here because of you. I'm here because of me. And I said, I'm not here to save your life. I'm here to save mine. And I said, So at day's end, I said, say what you will about me. And I said, and I know there's a few of you in here right now that are talking behind my back. You can't keep me out of the meeting. You can't keep me out of the meetings. And said, and best yet, if you've got that much of a problem with me, you're probably going to end up drunk anyways. And and I kind of sat back like that and said, with that being said, and I'm going to especially enjoy saying it is because there's even one of you in here that doesn't like me saying this. And I said the line. And the whole time, this horrible woman that had been talking, just been hateful to me, my whole sobriety, just looks down, realizes that it was a shot towards her. And she never said another cross thing to me, ever, ever. She got the hint. She's like, I'd never been told off like that. I've never been. She came up to me about a week later. She said, I knew you called me out, and I'd never been called out like that. I had to go call my sponsor. And then my sponsor said, did you realize that you were eventually going to upset this person to that point where they basically told you exactly what they thought? And they're right. If you have that much of a problem with them, it's not a problem. It's not them. It's you. Said, maybe you need to get back into your fourth step. So in essence, by me calling her out, she stayed sober. So that's it. It's interesting how that works. But yeah, and that line, just because she had a problem with me saying it, because someone she knew also said it at one time, who isn't with us anymore. But when I did say it in the meeting where old Floyd's son was present, he said it's nice to know that Dad's line is still being carried on. I think and Soberman has actually said more than once. He said, "I will tell you straight up, honest." He said it used to be old Floyd's line. He said, but now it's Prince Magnum's line. You've pretty well, kind of claimed it for yourself. And I think old Floyd would really be happy to see that it's still being used and that it's still making an impact. And I think he'd really be happy to know that somebody has kind of made it their own at this point. So if you ever wondered where that line actually came from, that and if you have ever wondered exactly what it meant, number one, there's a lot of people in the world that don't have anyone to tell them that they love them, plain and simple. And you know, even though I may never see some of you face to face, the truth of it is that you know it's if you're here with me in some way, shape, or form, of course I love you because you're a human being and because you're now playing a part in my life, whether it's a small part or a big part. You know, uh, that's just the way it works. I love what's in my life, and if you kind of become part of my life, I love you. That's how that works. Along with that, um, you know, the God bless you. In Alcoholics Anonymous, we believe in a higher power, a power greater than ourselves. Now, that higher power could be whatever you want it to be. As a matter of fact, Sober Man's first higher power was the wind. That he could understand the wind. He may not be able to see it, but he could feel it. That was his first higher power, and that helped him get sober. Um, I am a religious type, but it's not Christianity. And my higher power has worked this entire time and helped me stay sober. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back, brother Ian. So that's how that works. And I've even heard, I believe it or not, I actually heard of a story where a guy got sober. His higher power was a tree. Hey, what's going on, Morgan? Welcome to the live. Just telling sober stories again. Good old sober stories. And the title is dead on, okay? Heads up, title's dead on. We are 1 month away from me making 15 years without a drink or a drug. Don't applaud that yet, though. We're not there at 15 years, and we will go live that day. We will go live. We will celebrate it. So now, where was I? Come on, brain cell, kick in already. Anyhow, well, I can't remember what I was just talking about. Damn it. I hate it when that happens. It sucks getting old. That's right, 15 years. And again, you know, I, I have had the opportunity to, to get sober in Alcoholics Anonymous. And I know some people, it's like, are you going to be an alcoholic forever? And we actually have a saying in Alcoholics Anonymous that it'll make sense the moment I say, oh, yeah, I was talking about higher power. Um, if you take a cucumber and you turn it into a pickle, you can't turn that pickle back into a cucumber. Same goes with people that become an alcoholic. Once you become an alcoholic, there's no going back to being a normal person. Okay, you will always be an alcoholic. Now, there is a difference, just like in the world of pickles, there's your bread and butter pickles, and then there's sour pickles. Well, and in the world of alcoholism, either you're practicing or you're not. Okay, that's really it. Okay, either you're drinking or you're not drinking. That simple. And I have not drank in almost 15 years. So, I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about this. And like I said, we will definitely go. Now, I remember what we were talking about by higher powers now. It kind of came back to me. So in Alcoholics Anonymous, you can choose higher power. And again, I talked spirituality, not religion in AA. There is a difference. And I'll give you two definitions that we use. Religion is just a group of people that believe in some sort of a God along the same lines. That's really it. Okay. They just kind of believe along the same lines. You're still going to see differences in matters of opinion and BS like that. That's just kind of how that works. But that's religion. Spirituality, on the other hand, is your own personal relationship with that higher power. Period. Okay? That's the simplest, easiest definition that I can provide. And then, of course, for the more belligerent type, religion is for people who are afraid of hell. Spirituality is for the people who've been to hell. Straight across the board. Okay? And that's how that works. Okay? So if you guys have ever, wondered how that all pans out, that's it. That is really it. Okay? That's it. It pans out that with you know with spirituality, that is kind of what we use. All right. And it might sound like smoking guns, trick mirrors, or anything like that. And honestly, some people might even say that, if you will, on people who are on the outside looking in this particular case, when it comes to spirituality, to them, spirituality is stupid. It doesn't make any sense, whatever. But here's the thing: if it's stupid, but it works, it isn't stupid. And that's actually an old military term, but and I know there's a few of you, who are veterans yourselves. You'll get that. If it's stupid but it works, it isn't stupid. You know, and I know a lot of military types would be like, exactly. Um, don't, yeah, it isn't stupid if it's working. And if it isn't broken, don't fix it. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why the program has worked the way that it has. Now, it doesn't necessarily work for everybody, fortunately. I think if I remember correctly, back in the 1950s, they were able to figure out that exactly. See what I mean? See what I mean, Ian? You get it. So that I know back in the 1950s, they were able to figure out that 25% of the people that came in to AA back then got sober like that, never had another problem again. But then they were able to figure out that the other 75 out of that 75, that 20, that basically another 25% may come in and out for a little while, but then eventually they would get it. Most of them would get it, but the rest of them would just drink themselves to death. They never got it. And today we have actually found out that it seems to be harder for people to get sober in Alcoholics Anonymous in say I think in the last 7 years, it's actually been a lot harder for people to get sober. And this actually came down from the top, AA World Services, that basically it boils down to a lot. We're getting more snowflakes, as we say it nowadays, and the rough, tough old timers are living a lot longer. And those rough, tough old timers, they literally, I've heard them actually say to newcomers, sit down, shut up. We know what you know. Now you need to listen so you can learn what we know. And they'll say that in AA meetings, and they're not trying to be mean. They're just trying to tell you you need to listen because your best thinking got you here, which is still kind of not the best way to put it, but that's just kind of how they treat it. Like you need to listen to us so you don't die. So they're basically telling them, shut the fuck up and listen. Maybe if you'd have listened more, you probably wouldn't be in this predicament. Yeah, that's another one. I actually had to sit in an AA meeting one day, and there'd been this newcomer, and he was getting it really, really frustrated because the old timers were getting tough on him. And I said, I understand where you're coming from because I was once a newcomer myself. So I get it. But let me say right now, you'll hear the rough, tough old timers tell you, sit down, shut up. We know what you know. You need to listen to what we have to say and learn what we know. And said, they're not saying that to be mean to you. And they're not saying it because you're dumb or anything like that. But they're saying it to you because they want you to listen. So maybe you'll learn a little something and save your own life. Maybe. They're not saying it to be mean. They're saying it because it's from the voice of experience. You need to listen to it because if you're too busy thinking about what you're going to be saying next and you're too busy talking, you're not going to learn. And then the likelihood, the less likely you are to make it back. Okay. Because you're still fresh, and being this fresh, it is going to be very easy for you to drink again. And they got that. And I said, you'll also hear, your best thinking got you here. Well, yeah, your best thinking got you here. Your worst thinking would have gotten you killed, Oh, thank you so much. Fresh news. Welcome to the live stream. We're not there yet. We're a month away, 1 month away from today, 1 month. We're on the road. I'm excited about it. And make yourself right at home. Make yourself right at home. You don't have to be an alcoholic or an addict to take in the stories of Alcoholics Anonymous. Make yourself right at home. And if there's anything from any of my stories that I might tell or anything I might say that could help you or someone because we all know an alcoholic. Trust me, we all know an alcoholic, Well, thank you, Fresh News. Actually, I'm 41. I'm 41 years old. Yeah, I'm an old man, actually. Yeah, I'm actually an old man. Most people wouldn't believe that, but I'm actually 41 years old, which... Did I see the chairman sneak in? Oh, hey, chairman. Welcome to the live stream. What happened to you today? Tell us. Yeah. No, seriously, I actually got sober at 26 years old, but I'm 41 now. And back then, whenever I first got sober, believe it or not, and when I was in my first meeting, sober man was actually at my very first meeting, and he, hey, hey, congratulations, Chairman. Congratulations. That's awesome news. Um, but yeah, sober man, when he first met me, he's like, "You're what, 18, 19?" And I was 26 when I said, "No, I'm 26 actually." And they're like, "No, no." I'm like, "Yeah, no, yeah." They didn't believe me at first. And, wow, congratulations, man. That is awesome sauce. That's awesome. That's how it goes. Sometimes you hit that right chord and you do that right video and people just really just kind of jump on it. That's awesome stuff. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it in Alcoholics Anonymous, I got sober at 26 and a lot of people really had a hard time believing. Hey, Spaz, welcome to the live. Good to see you. There's our dear friend Spaz, baby. I got to get a hold of someone to help me figure out frickin' StreamYards, so I can so we could do those two interviews because I'm kind of I've been doing okay. Earlier this week I was sick, 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 sick. I had like this weird head cold thing going on. And it was pretty rough, and I felt pretty bad for a couple days. And I didn't even stream Sunday because I was so sick. Released a couple of videos. They were good. I felt pretty happy about them. Um, so it's going to be one of those deals. We're still waiting for YouTube to go ahead and finish out doing the whole monetization stuff, which I need to. Yeah, isn't that funny how that works out? That's a ah. I don't do any of that. Uh, I use a vape so I don't smoke cigarettes as much. Um, which the vapes really come in handy whenever I'm doing the cinnamon live streams. Right now, Ian's like, "Oh God, don't even bring up cinnamon." Just one of them things. Um, but like I said, I don't touch anything unless it's doctor prescribed or it's over the counter. And I'll tell you a funny thing. If I have to go see a doctor, as soon as they're taking, if I have to go to the hospital and, hey, what's going on, Mikey G? Welcome to the live stream, my friend. But when I go see a doctor, if I go into a hospital or the nurses are taking down my information, one of the first things out of my mouth is, I need to let you know before we go any further. Oh yeah, I get it. Oh my goodness. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. It- oh my goodness. I give that man so much grief. It's good for him. Um, of course, he gives it right back. He gives it right back. But where was I? Gosh dang it. Here we go again. Brain cell. Oh, when I go see a doctor, you know which one. The one that's teabagged him twice in Fortnite. Anyhow, um, Where was I? Um, oh yeah. When I go see a doctor, uh, their nurse and the doctor themselves, one of the first things I'll tell them right out of the gate, uh, you need to know up front. This is what I'll say before we go any further. Before I tell you, I didn't mention it. Oh, thank you, Biggie BG. I hope I didn't massacre that. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. But one of the things that I'll actually tell them is, as you're taking, before we go any further, you need to know I'm in recovery. You need to know that I'm in recovery, and my sober date is February 7th, 2006. That's when I got sober. And they're like, "Oh, you're in recovery?" As a sober member of Alcoholics Anonymous, this is my sober date. February 7th, 2006. And and immediately they're like, "Thank you. I needed to know that." And they'll write that down immediately. They put that information in there, and I tell them because there's actually medications that alcoholics and addicts are not supposed to take, and not all of them are on a narcotics list just because of how it might react with them. To give you an example, Clonopin. Clonopin. This is one of them that I actually have to tell doctors I'm allergic to it. Reason being is the way it reacts with an alcoholic system. It's like they're drinking. And I actually got put on it and went off the deep end. It started messing with my PTSD. And I went off the deep end. And I don't remember what happened other than the police were like had guns in my face. It was bad. They had to tell me what was going on, you know. So, you know, so there's that little tidbit of information. So if you ever, yeah. Um, well, I'm thinking about it. So yeah, I mean, when you're, yeah, I started to mention that. We're still waiting for YouTube to finish the process. We're still waiting for that. Evidently, we're also having some troubles getting everything lined out with AdSense. They make it as difficult as possible, and it's like, look, either link the old account or let me shut down the. Yep, yep, exactly, Chairman. So yeah, there's actually a laundry list of medications that I can't take, just because of how it reacts with this with the alcoholic body. Certain things react really bad. I can't even take over-the-counter Benadryl. Over-the-counter Benadryl actually causes me to have alcoholic withdrawals. Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't. Even if it doesn't, I think we're going to go ahead and I'll start advertising the Patreon account, regardless. Which basically I'll probably start doing that this weekend, where immediately we start advertising the Patreon account. So yeah, I totally get it, Chairman. So we may not even wait for YouTube. We might just go ahead and turn on the Patreon account, and because I've had one for a long time now, it's just I haven't bothered advertising it, but I think it's high time anyways. Set up the memberships through that. So and basically Patreon set up where for $1 a month, you basically can support a channel. And it could be anything really. So if you ever wondered about that, that's actually how that works. Pretty cool, right? Um, so yeah, that's that one. Um, I don't remember all my nifty little stuff like that. But yeah, and I need to get in there and finish setting up the the Teespring store because I know y'all want merch. I know everybody wants merch. That's the big one. Everyone wants merch. Prince Magnum channel merch. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I need to set it. I need to put one in there because that one logo that's at the end of my videos. It says "We are the Maverick Nation." That's actually a picture. Princess Fade did it, and I thought that it would actually be kind of cool to put that on like a T-shirt or something like that. Put that on there. We are the Maverick Nation. That'd actually be really freaking cool. I might just do that after the stream. Now I am going to be after the stream. I'm probably going to be on Fortnite, Save the World. Problem. I might probably actually stream that tonight. Spirit merch, yes, yes, yes. I know a lot of you would like some Spirit merch, Project Spirit merch. I'll have to get her cleaned up and get a really good picture of her, a really good one. Um, or maybe at some point get a good picture, of her, basically a shot going out over her hood, and you know, and that's and put that up there as the T-shirt. Put that on a T-shirt. That'd actually be really cool. Do that as something because I mean, that's how a lot of people know Spirit is just going through the windshield of her dash cam. Right, right, um, right, exactly, Jacob. Um, you know, and so today I'm going to spend a little bit of time today in production, but I'm probably going to do a late night, Fortnite stream tonight. Save the world. I'm literally just like a page and a half away from leaving Plankerton and heading towards Canny Valley, and then I'll be catching up to Ian. All right, and I need to run. I'm supposed to run with Bad Bat again, which him and I had fun last night running together. We had a great time last night running together. It was so much fun running with Bad Bat. I hated it because I was actually falling asleep because I was so tired from work that day. I had a good day at work. It was really productive. And you know, that's one of the joys of sobriety is I enjoy my work. I enjoy working. Um, and that sort of thing. So I was just so tired and I wanted to keep running with Bad Bat. We were having a great time. But I know him and I are supposed to get together soon and basically kind of run together, and he's going to help me get some certain stuff to take the weapons over there and save the world and really crank them up because I know Ian had really got a kick out of that shotgun that we built, that over under shotgun that we built and save the world, that Maverick shotgun. I know you got a kick out of that. Like, good God, man, this thing is fun. I'm wanting to kind of beef it up a little bit more. No, no, actually I know some of y'all said that he's kind of rough. And actually we had a good time. I mean, I don't think that man said a cross word. He was actually pretty easy to talk to. Um, it just a different character, and I mean, I told him, I said, just be you. I said that you got to remember where I live, okay? You got to remember where I live. You've got a lot of racist redneck types where I live, okay? We're talking that where um, I live in the Midwest, yes. Right, right. I I drank myself into diabetes. So where I live, there's a lot of redneck types. So playing the character that I do on Saturday nights, they all like, what the hell's wrong with you, boy? You want them rope suckers? So, and that's not even the case, despite popular belief. Anyhow, um, so yeah, Ian's probably laughing. What the fuck, dude? Ropes are, yeah. Um, so you got to remember um, that there is nothing bad can say that would technically be that offensive, considering where I live. Okay. And we're talking these people down here are the most politically incorrect people that you will ever meet. Most of them couldn't have a YouTube channel. Now, Chairman, it wasn't that bad. Now, was it? Right now, he is like, just that. I've heard Ian, I've heard you a couple of times in your stream call Raven a queer, which that's actually proper vernacular for saying someone's strange. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Uh, I've heard you go off on Raven and just straight up, you fucking queer. I'm like, what the hell? In your own stream? Okay. Why not? Why not? But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, saying that's just another way of saying something strange, you know. Of course, I've heard Ian say, call that same character to say that's gay, and then that same character turns around and says, "I'm happy to be here." No, no, just stop. What's wrong with you? That's funny as hell. Anyhow, Mike, I'm not even gonna ask. The Harley Quinn makeup stream, remember? I do. Oh my gosh, poor chairman is like, no, just no. If there's one thing I've learned is if I'm uncomfortable, I'm about to learn something. But anyhow, Drake says that. you know, I'll tell you the honest to goodness truth. I've been having a good time in sobriety. In the almost 15 years I've been sober, if there's one thing that I can honestly say is I've had more fun sober than I did drunk. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that someone forgot to tell me the party was over back then. The party was over. I just party on. And it just wasn't working. Just wasn't working. But I found it an even more exciting party once I got into sobriety, and I've been having so much damn fun. I'm having a blast. Uh, you know, and here I get to enjoy hanging out with all of you playing Fortnite or just hanging out in streams with you guys, watching you guys play whatever it is you're playing. There's times that I may not say a single word in you guys' stream, but I'm sitting there watching and just enjoying the fact that you guys are just having fun. And I don't think you guys know how much that means to me, that you guys are having fun and just, we're having a good time. We're just having a good time. And sometimes it's nice to be the wallflower, but I do enjoy being there with you guys. You guys are awesome. I can't thank y'all enough for bringing me along because I'll tell you what, there was a time that none of y'all would like me. And if you think Bad Bat's, kind of rough, oh man, you should have seen me when I was still drinking. I was a dick. I was just a straight up dick. Oh my gosh, yes, that would be so much fun. How's Zelda? Actually, she's been pretty good today, other than she was being an ornery little cuss earlier. That cat is something else. She's got this new thing she's been doing for probably about a month now. I'll go to open the front door to the apartment, and we live on the top. We live on the top floor. So immediately, what does she do? She runs down the stairs to the bottom stairs and act like she's hiding. And you have to go all the way down the stairs and pick her up and carry her back up to the apartment, set her down on the carpet, and she's just fine then. But she's got to run to the bottom of those stairs, so you have to carry her back up. I'm like, you ornery little shit. And she does this at least twice a day. Oh, you too, huh? But yeah, and we'll have to do that sometime. I would actually, sometime I would really love to actually record, even if it was just a record. I would love to interview you sometime, Ian. And you as well, Mikey G. I would love to interview you guys and get you guys' story captured. Because I think you guys got a hell of a story to tell. Both of you. You guys. I know. I can't. I enjoyed running with Broken Mike. I'd love to interview him as well. And actually, a lot of you guys out of England, I'd like to interview. Oh, bullshit, Mikey G. You've got one hell of a story to tell. I'm gonna tell y'all a little something, you know. Hey, what's going on, Kevin? Good to see you. Yeah, I know. I was kind of the same way there, Chairman. I was kind of the same. There's a lot of you I need to interview sometime. Maybe that's what we're going to have to do this year is get some interviews of some of you in the Maverick Nation. Well, not necessarily. You can actually talk about your time in basic training. I know you can't talk about the missions that you had because that's still kept pretty quiet. You can't talk about that, but you can talk about I know your basic training because that's actually and I know there's going to be some goofy stories from your basic training or maybe some of the friends you made. You got to know where you can what you can talk about because I know there's some things that that you really yeah, here in the U.S. Most of that's public knowledge, with our people in the military. But yep, how you met Pinky? That's all. I'm interested in that one as well. How you met Pinky? You know. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that, man. But I know that I know you would have some great stories of your time in basic, your basic training. And I can't remember the exact number, but I know for the Her Majesty's Royal Marines, I know you guys have got a pretty strict regiment. Like it's very like you guys are super squared away over there. You guys are squared away in a big way. Um, because I've actually watched some of the documentary stuff on you guys' time, uh, like the first couple weeks in the first barracks that you guys were in, and I mean, just how very strict it is, and how you're actually supposed to even show up. And then, like they give you the option that if you don't want to stay, you can go ahead and, basically after that you're done. But that's more for the volunteers, not for the, for the conscripted. For those that don't know what I just said, basically, for those that are drafted, you got to put in your time. But those that volunteer, they're given the option, basically out of the gate, if they want to stay or if they want to go home. But I don't know if mandatory conscription is still a thing over there. You know, what is oftentimes called being drafted. Um, that comment, well, well, or I guess one of them didn't, but yeah, I mean, basic training you can talk about, but but yeah, but I doubt you. But I know you don't talk about your military service all that much, anyways. It's just not something you're proud that you did your time, but I know that much. You're not a big, you just don't talk about it a whole lot. You're just proud that you served. That's it. Which I know a lot of people like that. But yeah, I have nothing but respect for the after watching some of what you guys do. I have nothing but respect for the Royal Marines, um, which I know during the Second World War we our my grandfather got to fight alongside some of your countrymen. Well, I say fight, but grandpa was more towards the rear, more towards the back, you know, bringing up the supplies. That's right. That was his job. Um, I've actually got a brother right now who's serving as a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army. Last time I talked to mom, he's stationed over in Colorado. So I got a brother who's been serving. I don't know I don't know what he does now. I don't remember what he does. But um, come think of it, I don't even my brother that's 4 years younger than me. He served in the U.S. Army, and he was a mechanic. Oh, there you go. Okay, Chairman. Yeah, I guess there was a comment in there somewhere in between that didn't show up. You know, um, but yeah, I mean, and here's some irony. Did you? Most people don't know this. If it hadn't been for my PTSD, I was actually supposed to serve in the U.S. Navy, and I was going to be going in as a hospital corpsman. So basically, if you got hurt, I was the one who would be patching you up. That was how that worked. I was going to be patching you up. So I was your medic. The irony of that. Last season, Fortnite, the bandage bazooka. That makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it? Just run up there with the bandage bazooka. Boom, boom, boom. I'm healed up. Let's get in this fight. um, we had a good time. We have a good time on Fortnite. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, you definitely should. Um, and more in particular, Tuesday Night Madness. Tuesday Night Madness. That's so much fun. Tuesday Night Madness over on Gamerian's channel is something that I look. It's the day that I am not streaming, but I have so much fun. You can't help but to just dive into it. Oh, really? They're changing the uniform again? Again? Dang. I knew you were going to throw that out there. Dang. Actually, I was going to take sub duty my first trip out. I was going to take sub duty. So I'd be out there for about 6 months and probably never see the light of day because I was going on at one of those nuclear subs. I wanted to see if I'd glow green when I got back. And just for the record, you say that whole U.S. name. Remember, I could have been your medic. You know, really, that's going to be interesting because I know they're Class A's. I know they're Class A's. Navy boys are like, oh my goodness. There's a lot of women that serve in the Navy. Okay, I'll behave now. Love a chicken in uniform. Anyhow, like that one time I had Princess Faye put on one of my old nursing uniforms. Anyhow, we'll leave that be. There are some things we alcoholics found is perfectly okay in sobriety as long as we have a willing partner or two. Anyhow, um, so yeah, there we are, poor Mikey G. Like, you need to behave yourself. Do you realize who you're talking to? The things, I have fun. That's all I can say is I just have fun. Uh, so yeah, I mean, it's been a good stream, hasn't it? We've talked about a little bit of everything, but it all relates to the fact that I get to enjoy sobriety today. And you all continue to help me stay sober. We're 1 month away. Basically, the countdown has begun. We're going to 15 years. Higher power willing, my higher power, wants me to make that 15 years. It'll happen. It will happen. This is the exciting part. You guys get to watch it happen. And I'm going to even, this year, I'm probably going to include what did I learn this past year in sobriety? What did I learn? And I think I've learned quite a bit this past year in sobriety. Even though I haven't gotten to get to the meetings like I wanted to and all that other stuff, because I had last year all planned out. There's a saying in Alcoholics Anonymous: if you ever want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Yep. I think that happened to everybody last year in some way, shape, or form. Um, but there you have it. Another 24 hours to the books. And I got all of you to thank, for helping me stay sober. And I'm going to tell y'all something before we, go into the usual bit. When y'all invite me into your live streams or invite me to run, to run with you on Fortnite, even if you guys aren't live streaming, I want to point something out. That means an awful lot. Oh, Princess Faye, she's asleep right now. She's been resting because of the fact that she working that night shift. She sleeps a lot. She's very tired these days. So whenever she comes in for Tuesday Night Madness, we should count our we really need to count our blessings because she's just so exhausted. There you go, Chairman. That's really awesome. Awesome. And for those that don't know, one of my hobbies is I'm actually a military historian. It's one of my hobbies. Um, no, really, it means an awful lot, Ian. It really does. I don't think you guys realize how important that is to me. That when you guys are like, "Hey, come on, man, come on over, hang with us, you know, just run with us," or you guys say, "Hey, we see that you're doing, you're doing. Hey, you want us to run with you?" And it's like, yeah, because I have friends now that want to hang out with me. And even though we might be separated by a really big pond, you guys still want to run with me. That's freaking awesome. You know, I mean, it's a world to me. I don't think you guys know. I mean, considering that what it was like before I got sober, the fact that people want to hang out with me today, it doesn't matter how much time you get, you really do appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you that most of y'all don't even realize I'm pretty emotional. I mean, I hold my own on the camera pretty well, but I'm actually a pretty emotional person. And when uh there's times you guys will say, "Oh man, you're one of the coolest people," or something to that effect, "Hey man, you're so nice and you're so easy to get along with," and stuff like that. There is times that I'll be off camera. You guys won't know it, but I'll actually melt down, and start crying because it means that much to me. As a matter of fact, at work, if I have a customer that'll come out and say, "Man, you're one of the nicest people I've ever met," and stuff like that, it means so much that you're so friendly and things like that. Or if they call, someone calls and talks to the boss and says, you're one guy who was at the counter, was really friendly, he was funny, really made my day. I'll have to go off somewhere and I'll actually start crying because, people because people are complimenting me and thanking me for being a nice person because there was a time I wasn't. I was a hateful, mean person. Um, I actually had a friend describe it best this way. They actually said, of all things, Prince Magnum is so mean and so hateful, you could pour boiling water down his throat and he would piss ice cubes. That was actually how he described me. So the fact that, that people, recognize that I try to be a decent and kind person today, I really do try. And, you know, it does bring out the emotion when people say it. It does bring it out. Um, so the fact that you guys want to run with me and all that other stuff, it means a lot. It does mean a lot. All right, so that does bring us to an excellent stopping point. If you hadn't done so, be sure to smash that like button. Uh, Always appreciated. And if you didn't like it, just hit the dislike button twice. Javon Reeves. Um, but along with that, I appreciate that, Mike. Appreciate that. But along with that, um, as a reminder to all of you, at day's end, I hope all of you need me as much as I need you. And if nobody's told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.